Hi everyone, and welcome to Adobe Live from wherever you are around the world, and welcome to this session called Design Essentials. Before we start, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we live, create, and learn on today, paying respects to elders past, present, and emerging. My name is Chris Hansen, and I'll be your host for today. And joining me from Sydney, Australia, we have Senior Solutions Consultant for Creative Cloud, Jason Grant. Welcome, mate.
Yeah, g'day. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Working from home today. And yourself? I think you're in the office today, right?
I am. We are fully collaborating today, I would say, and which sort of leads into a lot of the updates that have come through. So it's been really exciting. So it's great to have the opportunity to go through all these with everyone and make sure that they're all abreast of what's new.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, we wanted to collaborate in the same room together, but we couldn't do that, unfortunately, but it's getting there. Hopefully we'll be able to do some more of these sessions in person in the new year. Look, for those who are not familiar with what you do, Jason, do you just want to give a quick brief intro?
Absolutely. So I'm what we consider as a solutions consultant. So my background is within publishing and design. But what we do today, and you as well, is that we work with a lot of our commercial clients, education as well as government clients. We make sure that they're utilising Creative Cloud to its fullest extent. So have a look at how people use it on a day-to-day basis, some of the workflows they actually use, and then either highlight new features that have come through, which is what we're going to do today, but also highlight ways that they can save time in that longer workflow, sharing assets, collaborating, all the other things that go on around, a creative workflow.
Yeah, interesting. And look, in today's day and age, we're pretty much living in this hybrid model, if you will, of working, right? And collaboration is completely key with everything that we do. So really interested to see what we got, and I'm just going to have a look at my notes here. We do have a few things to discuss, especially around the new stuff such as Canvas, Spaces, and even updates to libraries, but we'll touch on that at the end, because I'd love to hear some of the actual updates that have come through for the Creative Cloud applications. So I think today we're talking about Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, XD. Jace, where do you want to start?
Mate, I'm chomping at the bit to actually show you some of the stuff now. I'm going to start on Photoshop, so let me just hide the sort of zoom part, but I'm going to jump into Photoshop and I'm going to run through a few features that have come through. There is quite a lot, so I'll show the features first, and then I'll show some of the collaborative aspects that have been added into the toolset as well. So it's great to do all this work, and you will see me jump around and do certain things through here. But yeah, the collaboration, the approval process, the sign off, the official tick at the end, that's also just as important. So one of the first things that have come through is here on the far left. You can see over here, object selection tool, right? So this came through last year, but we've done some updates to that. So if I go through it, and you can sort of see down the bottom, as I hover over certain areas of this. So here we have a layer which has the 4 different flowers in the background. I hover, I click, so it's made it so much easier to create mask and so forth. So if I open up my layers here, I've got mask. I can just shift, add more, shift. I can do that. I can then simply put a mask around certain things. Makes it so much easier to actually select objects in layers. So it's a really good thing to make it, it's sort of, shall we say, it's sort of an involvement of that select subject itself. This is really great.
I was going to say that, it looks like there's quite little effort when it comes to, you know, just selecting particular areas, and the artificial intelligence is I suppose good enough to identify objects in that section, which is great.
Yeah, another quick example here. I'll do it through this one. So here we have a lady sitting on a rock, which I don't know what people sort of do. As you can see, when I hover over, you can see it highlights that lady itself. But you know, you have the select subject, select a mask up the top, right? So if I select her, right, that will she is a selection now, and I can show you by deleting her quickly. But if you wanted to go into an object itself, right, so say you just wanted the boots, I can drag and select over the boots themselves, right? Bang, we can change the boots. So it makes it so much easier to actually select an object like this, I think.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and you're still using that object select tool to do that, right?
Yeah, and a good thing too, like it can go into the details. So if you can sort of see through here, and I'll zoom in a little bit, but you can see how the rock has some differentiation. I can actually still like hold and shift. We've already selected the lady. I can hold the shift down, oops, and I can select over the rock, and again, option delete. But you can see that it's selected that. It's differentiated between the two rocks. It's so subtle, but it actually does a really good job.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So it picks up the textures, not only the textures, but even the coloring of those areas, and can identify that it is different. Yeah, wow.
And then, yeah, so from here, like, and I'm going to quickly do this because I want to jump over to the next feature, but I'll quickly show like refine edge. So let's just clean up her hair. So I'm going to quickly just drag over her hair a little bit around some of this area, and I'm going to put her on a new background, because another one that has come through, and let's just pull back the radius 2 pixels. So this is refine edge. I was doing that, so cleaning up around the hair, and I'm going to okay this one now. All right, so I've selected her. I'm going to copy her, and let's put her on another background. Oops, maybe not this one. Let's go this one here. All right, so let me just paste her in here, and I'm going to expand this up because I want to show some new updates in neural filters.
Oh yeah. I'm keen to see these actually.
No, it's it will make you smile. Pun. But yeah, so here we have her looking at the northern lights, as you can sort of see. So there's again updates from last year. Neural filters came through here. So if you go into your filter, neural filters, there are some new ones that have come through as well. So some of the things that you can sort of see here, the one that you like, smart object, this is allows you to make people smile and so forth. So this was from last year. It's a really great one, and make your Christmas photos so much better. But what you do is we select certain aspects out of, you know, Photoshop files and so forth, and then we put them on different backgrounds like what we just did then. Harmonization is a great tool. So here it can actually harmonize the background with the foreground. Really important, because that's what we do a lot. So I've selected that. I have to turn that on, and I'm going to just go to the layer, select background. So we want to harmonize it with the background. Let's pump this up to 100%, and you will see, as you can sort of see, there's a bar down the bottom. It shows the processing, but then you're going to see what happens when it merges with the foreground and background.
Okay, so it's going to pick up elements from the shot that you cut out of the other photo, and we'll be able to, like, I suppose, bring those two images together. So the northern lights shot, okay, it's just done it there. That's really nice.
But, you know, I would, again, go in, pump up the colors and so forth, put some more green to it, maybe just a little bit of blue. And then you've done this in, like, just a matter of minutes, you know, so a matter of seconds, hopefully. But you've done that really quickly. And again, like if I show you my layers, show you the before, and then you can see sort of the after as well. So again, it makes it so much easier to merge the photos together, and it looks like, hey, here she is enjoying the northern lights, you know, waiting for Santa to come over the horizon, I suppose. But yeah, I think that's a really good tool, that one.
Yeah, that's really good. And just shout out to anyone who's watching. Any questions you have, be sure to direct them into the Behance chat. And if you are watching on YouTube and you want to engage us, by all means, jump over to the Behance live stream and ask us some questions, because I'm sure Jason is really keen to answer some. But yeah, that was really interesting. And what I liked about that feature is it's non-destructive. So it actually puts your changes on a different layer, and then you can just go in and switch that layer off or make specific adjustments to it.
Absolutely. It is so much, it is a clever way to do it, but it's really quick, I think, which is really what's useful. The next one I want to also jump on and quickly show, because we got a whole bunch of updates to go through, so I'm really going to power through them if I can. But this one is called the Landscape Mixer, right? And you can sort of see down here, it's got everything from sunset, spring, summer. What it can do to a photo is, yeah, it just blows my mind. You can customize it, but I just want to show you a couple of things from the presets here. Mm-hmm. So here you've got the snowscape that you can sort of see here. So let's click this and see what it's going to do to this image here. Again, it's processing it, but what it does, yeah, it's, again, this is going to be great for Christmas, I think. But I did see a couple of years ago, there was a sneak that came through where they were merging sort of aspects of photos together. And I feel like this is the full, evolution of how that sort of sneak has come through. And you're going to see, as soon as it comes through in a second, what it does to this image.
Yeah, so essentially,
there we go.
Oh my gosh, it looks like we're at a Game of Thrones here.
I know.
Fantastic. So hold on. So we've literally just taken... what was that, like a summer kind of feel, and then turned it into a winterish setting. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, so this one, again, this one's for our Northern Hemisphere friends, but because we're Southern Hemisphere, here's a beach one. So let's see what the beach one does.
Yeah,
we'll pump that one through.
Yeah, this would be interesting.
But yeah, it blows my mind. If you look at the small details, even like what it does to the some of the leaves, the trees, the snow cover, and how it also merges with the tree and that. Oh, it's I think it's next level. It's really impressive.
So essentially, any photo that you have, you can turn into any type of environment, or even location, if you will. Yeah, look at that. That's come back really nice. And you can pretty much alter anything to before and afters. Can we see that again? Before and after. So that's the original, and and even just
go in, so you can sort of see it. But it's like, it's just.
I was just going to say, just look at the leaves on the trees. Just scroll up to that. And switch it on and off. It's even changed the even the denseness of the foliage in there as well. It's even brought that out quite a lot. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, I really like that one. And I think so much time could be saved if that's something we want to do. But like you did see, they have the levers, so you can go from summer to spring, and so that's something that you can also play with as well. There is one more, and this is it is from last year, but I think it's a different way to actually approach this filter as well. So here we've got like this nice shot of the lady. It's got a lot of color tone through it. Let me just hide that for now. A lot of nice color tone through this, right? And again, back in the neural filters, if I open this one up, and I'm going to do Colorize. So you'll be familiar with the Colorize one. So if let's hover over that. So Colorize turns black and white into color.
Yep.
All right. Really, really great. Any old photography that you have, it does things. But here, it actually also takes out the color wash through photos. So you can actually see here, if they maybe want to pull it back, they can do so. And here you've just got this back as a normal photo. So like, again,
that's very powerful.
From before, let me open it, to after. It's great. I'm speechless.
Can you just do that before one again? I just want to see something. All right, so see, this is what I find really amazing. So have a look at her glasses, right? you can see the background color goes through those glasses. Back in the old day, when you had to remove stuff like this manually, that would be extremely painful. That would take you so much time to do that. But in a couple of clicks, you've done that in, I haven't got a timer here, but what, 25, 30 seconds, if that?
Right. Let's do it again, another one, because it is, it blows my mind. And it is quite, like I know the color wash itself is a great look and feel, but you know, like just to say, hey, okay, if we had to pull it back, maybe we have a whole new look, or we have to do another retouch, like again, in 2 seconds, it's just changed it. So, you may want to put a new color wash on. So you might be trying to change the colors within the image, which can, it can cause up some issues if you're trying to do it too much. Some colors will react better than others. Yeah, you can start from scratch and just, start again. So it's, or you want to, just remove that and keep it a lot more simpler. That's where that comes into play.
But even the fact that I can take, old photographs. So I have old photos of my grandfather back when he was in Malta, and they're all black and white, and they're incredible photos. And I've taken them through and pretty much run this feature inside of here, and it brings them to life. Like, it identifies color really well. There are areas that it's not going to get you 100% of the way there, right? But it will find those areas where you just can go in and refine that manually. But yeah, very powerful.
Yeah. There are a couple of other updates, but another one that I really want to show, and I think this one's going to be very beneficial. So I'm going to jump over to Illustrator. I have here, it's a layered file. I've done some basic layers. So, I've got fish on different layers and so forth. Typically what you would used to do is, if you're going to pull over vector artwork into Photoshop, you would have to separate the layers and so forth, so you can start to alter that. A lot of motion graphics and all that, they would do that, convert from Photoshop or Illustrator into, other programs. Now we've done a new update here. So I'm going to copy this, and then let's jump back over to Photoshop here. I'm going to just paste it over this layer here, but you can see here with this paste, we have a new one up the top. So smart object, pixels, paths, shape layers, everyone will be familiar with if you have this sort of workflow. Now we have layers as well. So it will respect the layer in, respects the vector in. Let's keep the vector mask, and I will just, let me hide the background. Oops, excuse me. Hide the background here, but you can actually see if we go in. Now, look here, it's got the objects, and it even breaks it down that we can easily turn off the certain objects, move things around if we had to. It's really how far you want to take it, but it makes it so much easier to work in between the two programs as well.
Yeah, so that was just a simple copy and paste from Illustrator to Photoshop. And if you were to do that in the past, what would that be? Like a save as Illustrator file and then open inside of Photoshop?
No, it'll be a bit more. You got to copy this one step by step, sort of paste.
Yeah.
And you'll be pasting this as a smart object, I suppose, and then here, and then go on, so on and so forth. So here again, it's respected this, and it's working together a lot more. So a lot of the updates that we have now have sort of tried to respect between the different programs. We're jumping into Illustrator, Photoshop, all these programs all the time. So now they're working more and more better, and makes it a lot more easier for the workflows.
Yeah, right. Wow, there you go.
So that was another good update. I'm going to quickly go through and just show you. Let me go back to my original sort of Photoshop. So this one is a Photoshop document cloud file format. So it is a cloud document itself, so as a Photoshop. And this has been out for a couple of years. That allows you to do a couple of things. So here, now I open up on the top right, I can share this document. So you can see I've already shared this with you, hoping that you've managed to get in there and do some work. But that allows you to open up this document, as long as I don't have it open at the same time, but it allows you to open it up and also work on this document. Okay, so you can see here we have different options available through the settings, but then it also allows you to, if I open up here, comments, so I can go to my window comments here.
Yeah.
And I can say, Chris, can you do some work on this? Right. I should have put the @ symbol, but I think you'll get it. I can submit that now. Now you'll be able to get this and be able to, start to do some work through here as well. So, which is really good, to have these comments and features within Photoshop, within the applications. Retouching document is a lot of work. So here to get sign off from your creative director, art director, from your client makes it so much better.
So a couple of things. We can't be in the same document at the same time.
No, not at the moment. But you think there's a natural migration when it comes down to cloud documents. So XD, it started with Cloud Docs, and then commenting, feedback, and then opening documents, and then co-editing, all that stuff. It's sort of a migration sort of approach. So we'll see how it goes in the future. But it's starting to get closer and closer. So now we can open up the document, but we just work on it separately.
Yeah, and what I love about this is the fact that you almost eliminate 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. Really, have a think about what you do now in terms of saving the project, uploading it to a specific drive, sharing it, or perhaps it's saving it as a JPEG, sending it as an email, getting the email response, waiting for the email response, however long it may be, prompting that person. Like we're adding it all up here, and obviously it's time consuming, but when it comes to something like this, it just seems right to have that functionality built into the products. Yeah,
I agree. And with Cloud Docs, you've got version history. With some of we have, and I'll touch on this towards the end, but we have a new enterprise storage aspect. So that'll give you like 6 months version history with all documents, unless you mark it. If you mark it, then that keeps it. But it gives you a natural 6 months. So we don't have to do V1, V2, V3 anymore.
Yeah.
So, which is really good.
Or final, which we've all been there, right?
That one never stops, does it? No. Okay. So that was a couple of things in Photoshop, which I'm hoping people will find useful. I'm going to jump over now into Illustrator and show another new update, 3D. So illustration, it sort of goes through. We have flat designs. We have migrations of, sort of design trends through here. Gradients came back. First that they were there, then they went away, and then they come back again. So there's a whole range of different things that are available now. Here, I'm going to just turn this one to yellow because I want to show you the 3D aspects. Now, there used to be 3D, and there was 3D, sorry, in Illustrator. It's made it so much more easier now. So if I hit extrude here, you can see how much nicer this sort of works. Right here, I've just done that quick extrude. So you do have revolve, and I'll show the other aspects a bit later, but here you can see how easy it is. I can move this around, but I've also got my gizmo in the middle, so I can start to rotate this around, and it's really quick. So it's a really great way to actually do it. So makes it so much more quicker and easier. And then, I still have my lighting. I can go in and play around with the lighting if I want, the intensity, where it comes from, all that stuff you can start to play with really quickly. Turn shadows on. I think for illustrations, this is a great new tool. I love it in typography, but I think other people can find some more interesting uses of it.
Yeah, and you mentioned a few things there, especially the gizmo, right? So that's something that is inside of After Effects as well. I feel like some of these apps are taking elements from other apps and putting them inside of each other. So for example, in this instance, you've got a 3D text and you're manipulating that. There's that functionality inside of After Effects as well, where you can manipulate objects using the 3D gizmo. So it feels like, it just feels like 3D is coming into play in different areas.
Yeah, 100%. I'll quickly show you inflate, just so you can see what that's going to look like. Look at that, nice and puffy and fluffy, but really good. So that's the extrude aspect. So again, have a play with that. Really good. I'm going to also show you now materials. So now we've got materials that are available as well. So there's a whole range of different substance materials that you can sort of see here. So some of the substance is with our 3D collection. So it sits outside the Creative Cloud, but it has, has that ability to do amazing materials and textures on sort of 3D objects. So some of this is coming down into, Illustrator as in this example as well.
Yeah, right. Hey, just quickly, we've got a question here from Noah. He asks us, are you guys real human beings on Earth at the moment? Yeah, we're real and we're live. So, Jace, are you on Earth?
As far as I know. Yeah. But hey, we're in the space age at the moment, so let's go with that.
We are. So
as you can sort of see, I've selected a marble paint, and I'm going to let's just change some of the color of this. Let's bring it back down towards what we got here. Okay, bit of yellow. But here, we're starting to play with some of the aspects of that, and it makes it so much, how quick and easy this is. I think it's really good. That was from the marble one. Now, I can turn on the render with ray tracing as well, and hopefully you can sort of see here. I'm going to hide that, but you will see here the difference in that texture that comes through as well.
So are these particular materials from, did you say they're from Substance?
These are Substance materials, yes. That you can access now within Illustrator, so which is really good. As soon as the ray tracing is done, it does take a bit of time depending on your computer power, but you can sort of see the difference. So that was, now it's turned on. Let me just hide my...
So as you're doing that, we had another question come through from Flynn.
Hide edges. Yep.
Substance installed to use the 3D stuff inside of Illustrator?
No, it's all available here. And it's a great question, Flynn. You can see over here, so if you do have access to Substance, then you can access that and open this. But over here, there's also a community. So, and I'm going to hit that up and boot that up. So this is a community where people have uploaded sort of content as well, which you can also download. So there's a whole range of content here. This is the one I downloaded previously. So here you can see, got it. If I download this one, I can load this one in as well. So, there's a whole range of different options available. Concrete, you can go crazy, go to town on this, and then they have their own variables through here as well. So you can see that was the one I downloaded previously. Might just turn ray tracing off, but hopefully you can see that come through as well. So it's the world's your oyster, mate. There's so much you can actually do here. Especially with the 3D stuff.
And just maybe we'll go back a bit in terms of Substance, and those who are not familiar with what Substance is. Do you want to give them a quick background in what it is?
Yeah, so Substance, it allows you, so it does build on textures and materials that you put on 3D objects, right? So they have Designer and Painter that can actually do a lot of that, and a lot of the visual designers the visual designers in movies, they use it. Gaming also uses it quite heavily as well, and it makes it so much more easier. And then you've got Stager now, which allows you to place objects against 2D backgrounds or 3D backgrounds as well. So it doesn't create 3D models, it does basic creation of them, but other programs you can use like Maya and so forth to import your models and then start to use the texturing to give them more life. Yeah,
we're talking about the material aspects of 3D modeling, right? And the ability to texturize those types of models, but not to make them look, I suppose, hyper realistic, but even to the point where they look I suppose, real in the environment that they're in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's great. But have a look at the 3D panel. That extrude, I think it's amazing. I love what it does to, you know, really basic sort of things. Now, also, I will, before I actually forget, let me just open up the appearance panel here. So again, whoops, let me select my object here. Now, this, again, it's just a texture. So you can turn it on and off, right? So that's what's really good about it. Okay, I've got to turn my ray tracing off. But yeah, I can easily turn this on and off as well, so which is really good. So you can just jump between the two.
Yeah, there you go. So I got a question about like the 3D aspect from within here itself. Could I then take that Illustrator file into something like an After Effects and then potentially add some motion to it or make it move, make it more dynamic?
Yeah, good question. You would be able to do it, but I believe it will be still like a rasterized image.
Okay.
Or, you know, so it will keep that. So that means that if you're moving around it and so forth, it won't follow the camera, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one pretty cool update, I think. I'm going to jump over to the next one as soon as it goes across. There we go. Another one. Now, this is something I found, like, this is, I think, something people find really useful. Like if you have a color or so forth, you go to select, and if you wanted to change that en masse, you know, you go look for same appearance or fill color or something like that. Selects all the same colors as well. And then you can change it or alter it or edit it or so forth, right? Stroke colors, all that stuff. These are tips and tricks you would do to, you know, change things. Change things quite quickly across a big design file.
So, as an example, if I'm a director and I say, "Hey, Jason, I don't like that yellow. I want that yellow to change to a green," for example.
Then yeah, you will go in, select same, fill color, and change that. But now we've got a new one that's come through here, and you may have saw it when I was going here. Same, so I've selected the text, and if I go down, same font family, so text, I can select the same font family, and then you can see here it's picking out all the different fonts. So you can also, now it's gone into selecting same text attributes as well. So I think that's a really nice little trick that people can also leverage.
And is it purely with the same font family, or like multiple fonts, or is that just okay?
Style, size, yeah. You can go down. There's a whole range of different attributes that you can go into. But yeah, I think this is really good, especially people who have these larger sort of design files as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, quickly, and I shouldn't leave this amiss as well, just so we're all aware too. Again, Illustrator, it is on a cloud document. So cloud documents, that means that you can access these files on iPads, on wherever you are as well. So, you know, on your desktop on top, iPads, Photoshop, Illustrator, they're both going down that same route. So now they're also able to be accessed through the browser. And we're going to go into that a bit later as well. So I think that's amazing that Illustrator and Photoshop will be accessible on a browser. So that is still in beta, but it's coming through now. So that's something that we're testing with various clients as well.
I'm sure we'll get to this, but when you say Photoshop and Illustrator will be accessible on a browser, are you telling me that it's the entire application or parts of the, like a dumbed down version, if you will, of the application?
Yeah, it's initial aspects of it are available through the web interface. And I've got a quick example that I'll go through a bit later. Yeah, it's the same like when we converted Photoshop into an iPad version. So it didn't have the full functionality. But what you will be doing is jumping between the different hardware, so to speak. And if you don't even have software downloaded on whatever computer you're at, you will still be able to log in through a browser to access these cloud documents. So that's really useful. But here, again, you're going to see Cloud Docs. We've got the commenting feature as well. All of that stuff can actually be made. You get feedback, all that through Illustrator, Photoshop as well. So, which is really good. It's very important.
Yeah, I think I was just going to ask you, do you think, here's an interesting question for you. Let's be honest, designers, creatives, they're a bit stubborn, right? They work in their own way. They don't really change. I'm not speaking for all designers, by the way, but when it comes to things like that, and I suppose commenting and sharing of documents between other creatives, do you think that'll catch on? Do you think people will warm to something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think once you get past that initial, people have workflows for certain reasons, because, you want to make sure it gets done. Deadline is king. So you're always ready to hit the deadline. So you don't want to jeopardize that. So but once you actually start to see, okay, yes, it's not like it's going to corrupt the document. Once everything is fine, the workflows work, then people take it on board, and then it's just the new normal. It took a while, even for certain things such as Google Docs to come up to speed. PowerPoint as well. PowerPoint, that's gone through that, and that's a long process that's gone through. But during this current sort of pandemic, it's changed the way we've had to interact with each other as well with our work documents as well. So it sort of brought that to attention.
Collaboration is key, right? That's if we can't
need to do our work,
if we can't physically be there, then we can do it through this type of functionality. What do we got here? InDesign.
InDesign, yeah. Sorry, I'm jumping around. I know we've only got about 20 minutes, so I just want to highlight again, same functionality. You got PDF comments. That's been around for a while. Here we've got the review process as well. Now here this came through as well for a while, but it's been improved as well. So it does import the comments into the document, very much like the PDF review used to do as well. So this makes it so much easier. You can actually see your comments live in that. So when I have to comment to text, I can see my text in situ on the document. As long as you're within this working view, you don't want to be in the preview view. You just make sure you're on the working view, and then you can actually access and view the feedback here. So go to share for review. This one, a lot of clients still are not aware of, but it's something that you can easily, share this with, and they don't need to have an Adobe license to access these review processes, okay? So here I can open this up through a browser, and I can do my comments and feedback and write through, okay, let's edit text. Edit this text here.
So I could essentially design something like that inside of InDesign, share that to stakeholders. They don't need to have Creative Cloud. So I just basically put their email inside of InDesign like you did.
Yep.
And they'll get a link in their email that can take them to the browser. Then they can go ahead and make those comments, and then you will get notified of that. Okay, so what you've just done there.
Yeah, so here it's come through. Now we can get feedback quicker and quicker, which means hopefully we can hit our deadlines quicker, I suppose.
Yeah. See that for me, workflow wise, just saves ridiculous amounts of times. As I mentioned earlier, rather than the email trail, waiting to hear back from a specific person, they haven't checked their email or whatever it may be, that just seems more efficient. Yeah, no, it's a great way to work. And documents have so many different aspects to it, especially large documents. There's text, there's imagery, there's layout, all the other different components to create these documents. And to be able to actually, view feedback, as opposed to try to view it side by side or whatever,
to view it within the document in context is super useful.
So I got a question. If I'm giving the feedback and I send that back to you, you make those changes. Does the link update, or do I have to get a new link?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Yes, so if I did go through here and say, okay, resolve that or delete that, whatever it may be, the link itself, so you have different ways to actually do that. You can update the link or update with the changes changed, right? So if I did remove this, so let's do it instead of talk about it. So I've deleted that. Now I go through here and I update that link. That means their link will be updated. It does mean that they have to refresh the browser to view that.
So they don't get notified, which is fine. Maybe that's where you can email them and say, hey, updated.
Yeah. So 5 seconds ago, we updated it. So otherwise, you can always go back here, create a new review, delete the old one, manage them. So you do have different ways you can do this. So if you want to keep your version 1, version 2, version 3, so you can maybe charge it back to a client or whatever, you can still do that as well.
Cool.
Another update, and this one, this is a nice one as well, and it's one that I think a lot of people, when we talk to clients, sometimes they're not quite aware of this functionality here, but there's an app here. So I'm going to go here, and so I've got a quick library that I've created, and I've got a basic image here that I dragged off stock. If I open this up, you can actually see down the bottom, so either I can add this graphic as a design element in my library and I can reuse that, but here, extract from image. So if I click this, it's opening up our capture application. So this is a mobile application, right? So when that opens up, you click up here, it's going to give you the QR code. So hopefully people are watching now. Quickly get your phones out, hover over that QR code, and then you'll be able to check in. No, that's a bad joke, sorry. It will point you to where you can download this application, right? So you can open up this link. So you can use this, and as you can sort of see here, it's picking out colors within the image. So here we can add a color theme to it, and you can see there's a whole range of different ones. I can still move things around, but it's done a really good job. But then there's also different moods that you can also tap into. So if I wanted, let's go muted. There's only so many colors in this one, so I don't think I'm giving good options. But if you had a photo or something like that, you can actually get quite a few different great options available. But that's a nice color tone, I think.
Yeah. So from a brand perspective, if you're given, images to work with and you need to capture those particular colors that you're going to use often, you could pretty much use this capture feature, right? So you could just open it up, use that image, save that to the library that pertains to that particular brand that you're working on, and then have that in there. Makes it easier, right? Yeah,
definitely. The other options too available here, so you got shapes. So here it's going to vectorize that shape, or it's going to turn it into an object that we can start to use. So you can see here it's taking out the color, it's giving it that black and white look and feel. Again, the application can do this, so you can actually use your phone to vectorize objects, to get color themes, all these same functionality. You can use your phone to do that. It will save to a library, and then you can reuse these in Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever program you have to. And text. So if someone sends you, or you see a billboard and you want to say, hey, that's a great font you're using, like here, see if we can find similar, see if we can pick out these ones. Yeah, so it will go through. It's not too bad.
Yeah,
there's a couple of good ones. It's getting close here. So it's actually finding different fonts that it can start to reuse as well. So that's pretty good. It's like, hey, I don't mind this one. I wonder if I can find something similar, quick, easy. And this is where you can use that extract from image as well. So capture, really great app.
And that's also available. It's also in Photoshop as well, isn't it? And you can pretty much, it's the same kind of box that pops up that you can capture specific elements from. I think there's a gradient feature inside of Photoshop as well. But the fact that you've got it on your phone and you're out and about, it's more mobile, obviously, and you see something that sparks, some sort of creativity for you, rather than think about it or take a photo of it, you can just capture it. See what I did there?
Yeah, you did. You brought it full circle. Well done. That was good. I'm going to just jump on to XD now. I am aware that we're coming down to the last things. So XD, it's our UX UI tool. It's great for designing, prototyping. Digital designers use it. A lot of marketing designers start to use it. I can create websites as well and all that through here. Now here we've created a interface that you can see here, which is Game On. So it's a gaming interface, similar to an Xbox or PlayStation. And you can access games from that as well. So we've introduced a new feature in XD itself, which is you can add videos and Lottie animations to a design.
So, okay, so that's video. Look at that. So inside of XD. And this is something that we obviously didn't have before, so this has just come out.
Yeah. No one has it actually. So, so any prototyping tool that is out there, yeah. So there is with the video files, it does have to be 15 megabyte MP4s, so you can add them into your file. But Lottie is great. It's a really small animated file. It's so much smaller than a GIF. Mm-hmm. And you can use as many Lottie files as you want in this. So the quick example, so I'm going to just here, so you can see the video that we've got on a loop. Here's another one. So this is a full working prototype that you can imagine sharing this off. So, and I can open up all the same things that you would do in a UX sort of environment. I'm start to do here, like here. Now you can see, I'm going to hit download. You can see little Lottie animations through here. Wow. So the download buttons, all this same functionality still works. And if I go into, let's go, where are we? Okay, go here. So this is open up another screen, download. Again, these are Lottie animations as well. So it's really great way to actually do things. Play now, another Lottie. And they're all, it makes the experience that you're trying to communicate to a customer or a client so much more interactive, so much more, towards the final state that you're aiming for in this.
Yeah, and I suppose it would obviously impress the customer that you have it at this stage of development. Just a question around Lottie. So how would I get my hands on Lottie animations, or perhaps even build Lottie animations?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And so I'm gonna, with Lottie files, there is the website that is also available, but you can see here, Lottie files, it's also a plugin. So if you want to go in, add a plugin. So here, the plugins, go in, look for Lottie. There's a whole marketplace available through Lottie that you can actually use. So I've got this already, but you can also create your own. So Lottie files for After Effects, body movement, that helps make some Lottie files as well. So can be made in After Effects as well as animate.
Okay, and in terms of the export, what's the actual, I suppose, code or extension for it? Do you know?
So that will put the JavaScript into the image. So it will put the code in aspects that you can actually use here. So I'm going to just quickly, let me go to featured. I think there was one at the top. There we go. So here, a Lottie animation, like these are free. So there is quite a lot available, but you can see here. And like the size of these is just, it's so much smaller, and which is important when you're creating websites. You want small animated files, because otherwise it will just slow that load time. So it's really useful here. and then videos. So I can easily, if I go back to my assets, you'll see here in libraries, got videos that we can add in. Let's add this one. Now here's a video. When I add my video, sorry, I'll move this down, go back, add a video here. I'm going to add this so you can actually see it. All the functionality I have available. You can see the play button available here. And then over on the right side, so you got play on tap, automatic. There's a whole range of different ways you can do it. If I open up this function, you got the loop. I can still trim clips if I had to. You know, there's a whole range of different ways that you can actually do within this file as well. So
you can trim a video inside of XD. You don't even have to remove it, take it into another application, edit it, bring it back in.
Yeah. Why would you want to do that?
I know, exactly. Saving time, right? Now, I know we've only got about 4 or 5 minutes left to go.
Yep.
Is there any more inside of XD that you wanted to show?
I think that's the main thing. Please get in there, play with the video aspects, play with Lottie files, download the plugin, and then, you'll be able to see how much you can do with it. There is so much you can do with that. But it's good that you said that, because the last one that we want to touch on, if I open up my video file, is our spaces and canvas. So if I go back to the start here, I'm going to play this and we'll talk to it in the background. So this demonstration is from Max. So here it shows what Spaces is. So Spaces sits within your Creative Cloud application. So over on your left side here, all your files and so forth sit here. Spaces allows you to have things such as a canvas, your libraries, which is an example here of different libraries. So CC libraries available as well, and also design files. So you can see up the top we've got canvases. We can share this off with various people. They have different access rights depending on what we want. So they can be reviewers, or they can be co-creators. So here's the lady that helped demonstrate it. But here she's showing the canvas aspect. So canvas is a design artboard that you have access to. And
we're in a browser here, right? You can see we're in...
Yeah. So what you're going to also see here, so that when you're in a design space, there'll be imagery that you're using, there'll be vectors that you use. Whatever you're doing, you find a lot of assets from wherever. It can be design files, all of this stuff. So here she's adding in a cloud file in here. That's a Photoshop cloud file. But now she'll also open this in Photoshop. So you did quickly see there that open in Photoshop functionality is available. So this is where the Photoshop on the web comes into play, and actually you have that ability to start to edit in an open canvas, which is a browser. So Photoshop, Illustrator, all your rasterized imagery, or your vector imagery, you can start to edit in a canvas. Collaboration at its fullest, I would say.
Yeah, I was about to say, obviously we can have our peers working inside of here as well, which is fantastic. And I think she's about to start adding people in now, and then to work on this from a collaborative perspective. And I think what I love about this as well, how you can do this all in real time. So you can make a phone call, you can talk to people, through text and commenting. And then even people will just come in and talk and be able to collaborate in this space, in this working environment, which is fantastic.
Yeah. So this is still in development. It's in a private beta at the moment, but it's really exciting where it's going to go. I think.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Jace, we're pretty much out of time. I would love to see more of this. And in the comments, if everyone's keen to see more of this, we're happy to come back and show that. Jace, thank you so much for your time.
No worries. Thanks for putting up with me for an hour of constant waffle.